Okay. Sanitation rates. Last year we had the 2.7 or 2 point something percentage increase, so there's no rate increase proposed for this year for regular residential sanitation. The ad house, on the other hand, is a pretty doggone good service, and that's available to anybody. Most cities require a medical condition for that, but we provide it to anybody who wants it. The only problem is it's costing us more to provide that service than what we're earning. So we're proposing to raise that to $40 a month. That's for 4 pickups at their house. The other increase is on yard waste bag tags. This time of the year, we pick up a tremendous amount of leaves, bagged leaves. It's an amazing amount. It takes all 4 on Fridays, when the leaves start falling, and they already have. We will take all 4, our 3 regulars and our backup sanitation truck, fully loaded with drivers and 2 staff for crew, and go pick up 150 pickups per Friday. And it could be each pickup could have up to 50 bags. And each bag, if it's plastic, has to be cut and emptied into the back of the rear end trash loader, because where we take the leaves to will not accept plastic bags. So it's a lot of effort, a lot of labor. And
Is it $5 enough?
That's
And-
what $2.55.
And so $5 is for 5 tags. So we're proposing to go from 50 cents a tag to $1 a tag. And just so you know, we take those leaves on Saturday morning. We have 4 drivers come in, and it's overtime for them. And it takes 2 hours for them to drive those trash trucks to the Hot Springs Wastewater Treatment Plant, where they will receive those leaves and twigs and compost them. And they charge us only $25 a truck. So every Friday we pay them $100 and we empty our trucks and come back and do it all over again. And for several months, that's what we do. And it's a tremendous service that we provide to the village and the area, but we're just trying to cover our costs on that. And if you can imagine, I just did some labor cost estimates. I'm up to easy over $50,000, $50,000 to $60,000 of just our costs and labor, equipment, and fees for that service. So we need to pick up, if at 50 cents a tag, we need to pick up 120,000 bags every year to break even, or at $1 a bag, we need to pick up 50, 60,000 bags. So that's our request on those areas.
Will they accept paper bags?
Yeah.
Why don't we just eliminate plastic bags?
Well, that is a policy.
I've lived in cities before
That is a policy we are considering, is to require biodegradable bags. It will save us a tremendous amount of time, and we can get more done on Friday than spending our time having to cut bags and dispose of the plastic bags on top of that. So that we are considering that as a policy.
And maybe there's a possibility of a service club finding compostable bags and selling them, or?
Oh, yeah.
I don't think the village
All hardware
wants
stores,
that.
Walmarts, they sell those green, the biodegradable bags, or heavy-duty paper bags, and that's what we're looking for. Then our staff, all they have to do is pick it up and put it in the back of the truck. They don't have to do anything else with it. And again, it's very labor intensive.
What do we do with the compost then?
Well, they leave it with Hot Springs, and I think you can go over there and pick up, if you load it yourself, you can pick up as much compost as you want. But if you want to get a truckload of it, I think it's $6 for them to load your trucks. And but someday, we all have vision. Someday, I hope that we can do that here as a service to our landscapers for a fee, and it can be maybe someday a new revenue for the village when we do our composting here and give it back to you. So those are some dreams there. But that was just some recommendations here. The $40 a month is pretty nearly double. But we would like to try to cover our costs in that good service, and it is available to anybody. We are considering just making it available to medical related, but in our sanitation program that we're proposing for next year, we are including in that is a possibility of purchasing what we call a little mini trash truck, a lightweight mini trash truck that can drive down the driveway, and our ad house pickup folks won't have to walk 100 feet or 200 feet down a driveway from the main road to haul that ad house pickup to the main truck. So we're looking at those options as well. What else we got?
You got 3% increase here.
Our water and sewer rates are all increased by 3%. That's in accordance with our our cost of service study that was done back in 2015 or 16. And we are continuing that 3% increase accordingly for the next 2 years. And then we'll reevaluate. Meter deposit. So for years, they have been doing just $50 water meter deposit. And when a resident sells their place or moves away, that meter deposit is there to help cover any remaining outstanding bills, like their water bill or their sewer bill. Well, here in the village, we only bill every other month, bi-monthly. So actually, there's 2 water and sewer bills that could be outstanding that the previous resident could, leave us holding the bag. And so we've always lost money on that when residents move away and they don't pay their bills. And the $50 deposit didn't come close to covering their water, their sewer, and their sanitation. And so we're proposing that to go to $100, basically $50 a month for billing. So it's two months worth of billing.
Jason, I think I know the answer, but I'm gonna ask anyway. That residential excess rate over 2,500 gallons, the bill says 5,000, but that's because we get the bill every 2 months, so that is not changing, correct?
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. You get
All right.
your first, if you don't use more than 2,500 gallons of water, you just pay the base rate. If you use more than 2,500 gallons of water, it will be at that rate. For example, commercial would be $4.83 per 1,000 gallons. Whereas a residential, it would be $4.62. That's right.
Yeah, at first glance, I thought you were changing that, but you're not.
Okay.
So it's 3%.
Same thing on the wastewater fees, residential, commercial, and commercial excess, they've all been increased by 3%. And that covers utility fees, I believe. Then we have some new fees.
I cut off the page. Go me. Here is where you took out this, so I've taken them out here.
Okay, yeah, so when a new home builder comes in and to build a new home, they'll come in and they'll pay, as part of their new home permit fee, a $630 electrical connection fee that covers all of the money that POA has invested in the electrical infrastructure years ago up to now. When we have to extend water and sewer services to a home at the end of a dead-end cul-de-sac, we also have to trench the electrical conduits for that. So this has helped us to get reimbursement for some of those costs that are part of just developing the village. The other one here is new home roadway fee at $1,500. We recommend no change in that too. And I'm explaining existing fees that have no change here, but I just did that for education. The other one that we are changing here is the water service new public utility department fee. We did a real cost of analysis of what that really costs. And when you do a water or sewer service, if the water line is on your side of the road where you live, that's a short service. But if the line's on the other side of the road, that's a long service, and we have to bore underneath the road. That's a $1,500 cost straight right there to hire a boring contractor to come in and bore underneath the road so we don't have to tear the road up. Then you add the piping and fixtures and things like that onto that. And what we did in the past is we just took a long and a short water and sewer and averaged it for the $1,360. And in the end, you still pay about the same, about $2,600, $2,700 for new water or sewer services, no matter what side of the road you lived on. Well, we went ahead and that was confusing to some folks, so we went ahead and just broke it out. So down here, we're proposing for a water service new short side is $455. Water service new is $2,025. That includes the $1,500 bore plus everything else: piping, tubing, brass fittings, the meter box, the works. On the sewer side, assuming your home has a grinder pump system, a short side is $315, a little less, and if you have a long sewer service, it's $1,950. And that is our cost of materials. Not charging labor, not charging equipment. I'm assuming those are already paid for, they're already budgeted, and they're already paid for our own staff. But the materials are our costs, and that's what we're charging. It's just material costs. The other items here is, we've added a duplex grinder pump. This is just like your simplex grinder pump, that's at $5,500 per unit, except 2 pumps. And the reason why I put that in here, because I really believe down the road, we're gonna see more commercial development that could, this is just a very small duplex grinder pump system that they could buy, but it's something we could maintain. And in the future, if a commercial development wants to, it's a small place, like the Trademark new building there, that, we could put in a duplex there, and we would we could always offer to maintain it, because it's exactly the same system that we operate, for the residences. I don't expect a lot of people to do that, but that's there. 2-inch water services, that's for your big commercial facilities. We're just putting that down in there, short and long. The long having to involve a boring. We're also adding the common property permit fee, class 3, that's for dredging in the lakes. It's been off the records for a couple of years. They're just now fixing to lower DeSoto Lake and do some work. And so those folks who want to get in there and dredge underneath their own docks, we're asking for them to come and get a permit, so it can be regulated a little bit, make sure nobody gets, outside of their boundaries and things like that. And so it's $50 for a permit that their contractor can come in there and dredge materials out underneath their dock. Property pins location, man, we do this a lot for everybody. Homeowners will call us as part of maybe when they go put in a new fence, and of course they got to keep their new fence inside their property lines. One thing Cooper did here, did a very good job of installing property pins, and they're not that hard to find if you know how to. If you have the class, you know how to find them. Well, we have several staff that can find these pretty easily, and it's a non-professional service. We're not surveyors, we're not licensed, we're not setting property pins. But it's just a cost to send one of our guys out there to take a metal detector and get the information from a plat map to go out and help them flag and find their pins. We accept no liability or anything like that. That's just, but most likely in this particular case, they're usually right where they say they are, and it's a nice service. So we're proposing that, and then the estate sale fee. That wasn't mine.
That was first. That's it.
Was that 5 minutes?
That's it.
That's it. Well,
The estate sale fee
15 minutes over on your 3-hour cruise. Jason, have these fees on the water service been run by any of the builders, and what were their comments?
Actually, I haven't had any feedback from the builders other than they would love.
Do they know about it?
No, I haven't broken them out like this. I mean, last year, no, I wouldn't say they know much about it.
Here's what it was last year.
Yeah, no, I
I just
remember.
wanted to show you.
It was pretty, the big change occurred last year. And then a lot of folks weren't used to just the average cost, which I thought was,
Will they perceive these as their fees going up again?
this is gonna be very, very much closer to what they're used to seeing with cities. Where they have to go
You're
in.
not answering my question.
Every city's different too, Some people subsidize their fees and we're not trying to subsidize them, we're just trying to get our material
I
costs.
think your boy's question was, how many emails am I gonna get because?
Yeah,
How much is-
I mean, I'm looking out for Charles here because we're gonna get nailed on this.
Last year we got a few comments on that, but it wasn't enough to create enough heat for us to make any changes. So I think this is really no different in cost, if we just broke it out differently.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
Now, my question on the property pin location, how does that apply to sale of existing homes? I don't know who's doing that flagging now.
That requires a licensed surveyor to do that.
So do they are they getting,
We don't get anything, but the realtor will hire a licensed surveyor to come in.
well, actually, the title company.
Title company, excuse me, well, you know better than me, that they will come in a licensed surveyor to locate those stakes and even do an as-built survey on that property.
Is this gonna be charged to those people?
No,
Okay.
I mean,
This
this
is
isn't for new houses.
This is for
just
a property owner.
Yeah, this is for property who already lives there.
Well, I'm talking about existing properties. Almost all sales contracts have at least flagging the corners.
Right, but that requires a licensed professional surveyor
Right.
for that.
Okay. And then my last question is, the estate sales fee is that going to the state sales company? Or, so they're,
So today, we charge they pay one-time permit, so Teapots and Treasures, for an example, they pay us one-time fee for all of their estate sales, and it's the same fee as if you had a garage sale, one sale versus 20 sales. And so, instead of us charging the one garage sale fee, basically, we're charging a new fee called the estate sale. So that $80 covers all of their estate sales for the year,
for the year?
For the year.
Oh, okay,
but it used to be 30.
got it, thank you.
Any other questions before you guys pass out of boredom?
How is this information going to be provided to the committee to look at in detail?
I have all of this saved as PDF, and I will provide all of that. Now, I did not save the GL detail, I saved all of the summaries. How far are you guys wanting in?
That's up to you guys.
Well, that may vary between person, and I assume they can get with you and get, if they want detail
Yeah, if you
breaking out
guys
a
need
particular
any more
area.
information from the summaries, just holler at me.
Yeah. And what about the fee schedule we need to get probably pretty quick? Seems
Yes,
we need
I
to
will
approve
send-
that next week.
That's already saved, and I'll get that to you too.
Great.
Okay, the other exhibit that's near and dear to my heart
I
is the.
know, I'm sorry.
No?
That one is not done.
Mhm.
That one is contingent on if we can get the capital stuff that's already in with this budget, if we get it approved, we are gonna start building a 5-year plan,
Mhm.
which is what Charles had mentioned.
Okay, any estimate as to when that might be completed?
She just 5 years.
Okay,
That sounds good to me.
Give or take.
that's a plan.
We will do it, absolutely.
Okay, very good. Any other questions or discussions? I mean, I think you / the board are looking for comments from us, is that correct? So the question is, how do we plan on sharing our thoughts? The only thing, I mean, you know, the knee-jerk reaction is, we get, what Karina sends us.
Is the goal to get that to them before next week?
Well, it will be presented to the board next Wednesday.
They will.
Charles will, I
Yes.
assume.
Yeah.
And then they will do their due diligence, so you've essentially got from now until November 15th, I guess, to provide input.
Okay,
Yeah,
all right.
okay, that's good.
Yeah, but if we have
Okay,
any
that's good.
issues that need to be dealt with in the committee through Karina, we should probably deal with those before next Wednesday. And I don't know of any that came out of this today, so.
Nothing jumped out at me today
Yeah.
as a major concern.
I mean, we did spend a lot of time with each of these. We tried to make sure we were reviewing everything that goes into every expense account, every revenue account, and be realistic.
Yeah.
And
Well, I can tell you that because I've also talked to Mr. Garrison about this during break, we will want a detailed breakdown of the compensation line to include management, executive, worker.
position titles.
No, not titles necessarily, just, categories. So that we can break down that total number and build up to it. That's the only thing I looked at that, and Dick just raised his hand, so.
I'd like to see two things, and I'd like to go back more than just 19. I'd like to go back to 17 and see a census by year, exempt, not exempt. And then I'd like to see under the hourly people, I'd like to see the creep by year, again for 5 years, of what the minimum is done. So that you can see the impact of the minimum on salaries and census as we go forward with the hourly people. But then on the executive, I think we've had a big creep from 17 to 20, and I'd like to see that both in census and in dollars. And one other small thing, I thought I heard two different projections on housing starts. I thought I heard Stephanie say 75, and I thought I heard Jason say 100. And whatever it was, it should be the same throughout the plan. We should have one housing start number.
And toward that end, I think that's a great report. When were the gates changed to a contractual obligation? Wasn't that since 2017?
It's before me, so I'm not 100% sure. I can do the research.
What's that?
When the gates were not an employee situation, not paid by the POA employees, but went
Yeah,
to,
I'm not sure of that either.
It's, I'm gonna say 15 maybe, or even before, but we can find that out.
well, when you get to this age, years go really fast, so
Yeah, they-
it's immaterial then.
Yeah, I guess the question is, we are the privileged and the select few who get to see the budget. Is there any plans on when to make it public?
This is being recorded and it will be put out on YouTube by section.
Okay, so they will be able to actually see
Yes,
all those
and
itty bitty numbers.
Larry will be dropping in
Okay.
the slides.
Very good,
Okay.
okay. With that, any other final comments? And
No, I thought it was a good presentation.
yeah, all I
You
can,
guys did a
I
great
could
job.
tell a lot of work and a lot of effort went into
yeah,
it.
thank you, everybody, because it is a
Absolutely.
ton of work to get to this point. We
Absolutely.
really appreciate it. We need this kind of stuff. So anyway,
Thank you.
I think one last thing between us as a committee, we currently are scheduled to meet next week. I think we might want to keep that
Okay.
and discuss, if you have the opportunity to look, we'll look at the detail. When you provide that, we can
Perfect.
digest that more, talk about that, and start at least constructing what our report
right, okay.
parameters may look like.
That's
Sound
great.
good?
Yep, sounds great.
All right.
With that, we're just meeting adjourned. Thank you very much.